What's up, everybody? And today we are making a new series since you guys have been waiting so long for another mapping series. And as you see in the title, it's Alternate Future of the World, aka Afatua. So yeah, it's time to start the video, and now let's get right into it. First, what we're gonna do is we're gonna color in Russia. Oops, that's the whole entire map. My mistake for that earlier. It will be Russia attacking. You guessed it. It's the one, the only Ukraine. Did I trick you? Be honest there. Did I trick you? Because if I did, sorry. But what am I saying? Sorry. Anyways, now let's go on to the mapping series, which is kind of what you guys like, but you don't really watch these videos, I think. Anyways, yeah. If I'm right, this is what the border front lines looks like, but only for this scenario, so it's not close to it is pros. The Russians were happy with this, but they want to now the whole entire Ukraine, because they want to restore the glory of an old country, and eventually they take Kyiv. And this is starting to look very bad for the Ukrainians, especially because they've started to invade right here and linked up here. But have no fear, more weapon supplies is here. Yep, the USA sees what's happening right now. They see what's happening. Gosh. So they fund tons of stuff, and at this point, there is even some USA troops fighting on the border. Now I'm just joking about that last point, but yeah. The Ukrainians over the years are able to slowly but surely push the Russians back until they have what they had before the war. And by that I mean before 2023. They will pretty much be only limited to this area, with Russians only standing their last front in this area. And the tides start to turn around. Originally, it was Russia, and now it's 2032, and the opposite is happening. Ukrainian troops are starting a full-out offensive on Ukraine, and eventually, what they will do is they will kick the Russians fully out, and Russian troops will be, any Russian troops that are found alive will be stationed in the Russian center, aka the RC. But slowly over time, Ukraine will push in to the area, and let's show what it looks like in 2040. Now Ukraine has a bunch of land from Russia, and at this point, so their capital Moscow doesn't get captured, they're gonna have to surrender over to the Ukrainians. That is a big loss, and Ukraine won't be taking anything big, but they will be taking nukes and the power from Russia. So let's see this peace treaty. My gosh, Ukraine! How did this happen? And at this point, the winter in the war did not stop the Ukrainians at all. So yeah. And to take out the anger on Russia, I meant to take off the anger of what just happened to themselves and how Ukraine folded, they will be blitzkrieging into, into Georgia. And we know Russia IRL already has these areas. So, we're going to go off of that. They're going to blitz this country. And eventually, they're going so far with their blitz that they don't even realize it. Oh my gosh. They don't even realize it, but their troops are literally crossing the border, which would make Turkey very mad since they're invading their country that they're closely, they like Azerbaijan. But in this scenario, Turkey can't do anything about this because Russia is fueled up. And at this point, after this, we will have an official ranking. So, at this point, well, number 1 is always going to be the US. Well, maybe not always, but number 2 isn't Russia but China. And this IRL is very disputed, so it would make sense for China to kind of be number 2. And number 3 is India. You may be like, why isn't Russia number 3? Number 4 is South Korea. Now you're getting very concerned. Number 5 is Japan. Number 6 is France. And the next number is Ukraine. Ukraine, from that war, absolutely folded the Russians. And they're even stronger than, wrong number, number 8. Number 8, the United Kingdom. And at number 9, let's just say we didn't see what Israel has done to Iran yet, but just know that Israel is now number 9. And number 10 is actually going to Brazil. Yeah, the Brazilians have built up their army. So that's the top 10. Russia is completely kicked out of there. And now they are actually not even the top 20s anymore. But they're in the top 30s. They are 32, where Canada used to be. Yeah, they are now like very down. Because they lost so much. Canada is now 31. When one of the strongest countries gets like taken down and Canada is now it, you know something's wrong. So yeah, anyways, let's take a look at this peace treaty where Russia will be bumping up to actually 22. Because this will be a good fuel of power for them. And Russia takes all of this. Now, is NATO still a thing? Yeah, it actually is. It's only because there are still countries that are weaker than Russia in NATO. So they still want support from Russia and maybe even China and some of the other non-NATO countries in there. But at this point, the US's influence sphere, that was literally from Ukraine winning, literally solidified not just the Americas, but most of South America. Except for Egypt for some reason. And also, we got a circle in the whole entire Middle East. And their influence has spread to Asia. And Pakistan is still under their influence. It's just they hate India and they'd rather be on a team with China. Anyways, their influence is now like this. So they literally took a big chunk of the world's influence. And let me change the Chinese influence because yeah. And also the US's influence wasn't really that much good because their influence has these nations in it. So yeah, China still has a little bit of influence, and the influence is in Egypt and Libya too. That's why they had these two countries weren't really there. And for some reason, Bougainville got independence, but some reason they like China. IKY, but I mean, hey, that's good or bad, I guess. Honestly, I have nothing to say about that. Anyways, there is one more thing in today's video. And that thing is going to be showing what happened to Israel over the years. And why they're now number 9.